Let's start by grounding ourselves in the land. Sarah, when we talk about Bigfoot, it's easy to jump straight to the blurry videos and late-night documentaries, but this story, it has roots, it has depth. The forests of the Pacific Northwest are often called the heart of Sasquatch territory, but the reports, the folklore, they stretch across the entire continent.
That's true. People associate Sasquatch with Washington, Oregon, and British Columbia. And for good reason, the terrain is perfect. Dense forests, deep ravines, massive wilderness areas where humans rarely go, but I've read accounts from Appalachia, the Ozarks, northern Minnesota, even the swamps of Florida. He goes by different names, but the image is the same: tall, hairy, human-like, and watching.
It's that watching that gets under my skin. There's something inherently unsettling about being observed from cover. I've spoken to hunters who've tracked deer for years, know every trail and movement, but then they stop one day. They say it feels like the woods are watching them, not in a poetic way, in a bone-deep instinct kind of way.
And those instincts shouldn't be ignored. When you've been in the wild long enough, your senses adapt, you learn to trust silence, movement, shadows, and when something breaks the pattern. Even without a sound, your body notices. It's like the forest itself goes quiet, not because it's peaceful, but because it's hiding something.
That reminds me of a story we got from a ranger up near Mount Shasta. He was doing trail maintenance and kept noticing huge branches broken 8 feet above the ground. Not weather damage, not animal markings, and one morning he found a pinnacone wedged into the door handle of his truck, tightly jammed, like a warning or a message.
That kind of behavior shows up a lot. The gifting, the warnings. Sometimes people leave fruit or shiny objects, and they return to find something else left in exchange. Other times, they ignore the signs, and suddenly the forest turns against them. Tools go missing, trees fall in unnatural patterns, or something walks through camp at night, but never shows itself.
Let's talk about the sound, or the lack of it. People describe hearing deep, resonant knocks echoing through the trees, sometimes in patterns, like a language, like a question and answer.
Yes, the wood knocks are fascinating. Some believe they're territorial warnings, others think it's a form of echolocation, like sonar for the forest, and then there are the howls. Not Volf, not human, but something in between. I've heard a few recordings, and they stay with you, low, mournful, and far too powerful to be faked with a human voice.
We actually received an audio file from a couple camping in the Olympic Peninsula. They didn't even realize they'd caught anything unusual until days later. They were recording an owl, but in the background, something howled, not once, but 3 times, long, rising calls, and the mic actually peaked, like the frequency was too low and too strong for it to handle.
That's the thing about Bigfoot stories. Most people don't even realize they've had an encounter until it's over. It's not like he steps out of the trees and poses for a photo. It's the eyes that catch a reflection too high to be a deer, or a shadow that moves against the wind. And when they replay it later in their minds, they realize they were never alone.
And it's not just the sightings, it's the emotional weight. People break down telling their stories. Full-grown men with military backgrounds, hunters, loggers, they cry because they felt something they can't explain, a presence, an intelligence, and often an overwhelming fear that wasn't their own.
That's a detail I find so important. It's not just the physical evidence. It's the way people feel when they talk about it. There's reverence, and sometimes guilt, like they saw something sacred and didn't deserve to. And when that many unrelated people respond the same way, you have to ask why.
So maybe this isn't about proving Bigfoot exists in the scientific sense. Maybe it's about listening to what the land is trying to tell us through stories, through silence, through footsteps we can't follow.
Exactly. Folklore is memory, and the forest remembers what we forget.
We're just getting started. After the break, we'll talk about historical records of Bigfoot sightings dating back to the 1800s, and how colonists may have misunderstood what indigenous peoples already knew. This is the Unseen Hour. Stay with us.